Let's start by seated in our chair. Feel our feet on the earth, get grounded. Maybe lift your toes and spread them and then place them down. Yep. I use my fingers too. Use your fingers while you use your toes. Lift your toes, lift your fingers, and then reach your toes and your fingers forward. I like that. It's like when we say lift something and we can't, and then it seems hard to do. We use our eye to lift our toe. But it all makes sense, right? Let's circle around on our hippies. Notice as you shift forward, side, back, and around how it feels. Notice how your weight goes from one side to the other or front and back. Yup, let's reverse it. This is so nice just to do to start to warm up the spine, your torso, and even the core and the belly. As you lean back, you can feel the belly start to engage. And come back to neutral. Take a breath in, maybe hands on belly. Breathe in, belly expands. Breathe out, belly softens back down. And take your hands to your rib cage. Breathe in. Breathe out through the nose. Soft breath in. And soft breath out. Good. Let's take our arms out to the side. Start to warm them up. Just kind of wave them. Yup. Just kind of as you lean side to side with your hips, let your arms do the wave. Just to kind of get them going in the morning. There's not like a right or a wrong to this movement. And then start to tip and lift one heel and then the other. So don't tip too far, but just kind of play with your shifting and lifting perhaps the opposite heel. So if you're going to the right, the left heel rises. Going to the left, the right heel rises. Doesn't really matter so much. And then come back to center and take your nose and you're going to draw with the tip of your nose. So draw a circle with the tip of your nose going one way and feel how that gives you a little massage behind your neck. And then circle the nose the other way toward whichever side you weren't doing. So I was going to say counterclockwise, but I think it might look to you like I'm going clockwise. And doesn't really matter. Go both ways. And then come back to neutral. Let's gaze down towards our toes and then lift up and gaze up towards the sky without dropping the neck back. Exhale, gaze down, and then inhale, gaze up. Bring the chin to neutral, so about parallel with the earth, and tip your right ear down towards your right shoulder, and perhaps use your right hand to gentle move into a little side neck stretch as you breathe in and out. And inhale, head rises. Feel the effect of just that little stretch. And then take the neck, the ear down towards the left shoulder. You'll feel a side bend in the neck. And maybe using your left hand. It's just a light touch of your hand on your head. Breathe in. Breathe out and inhale, head rises back up. Let's lift the right knee in towards our torso. Sit tall, and you can press your palms and your interlaced fingers into your front of your shin And then the thigh goes towards your spine, and you lift tall up through your crown. Then go ahead and circle this leg bone in the socket. Try to stay upright with your spine. It's easy to kind of rock side to side. Try to stay upright. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, feel your belly pull in towards your spine. Breathe in, belly expands, and breathe out, and it pulls back in. Give it another hug and maybe kiss your knee. You might have to blow it a kiss. You know, we love our knees, right? And then go ahead and place the foot down. Let's do a little bit of walking in place in between sides. Yep. So alternating arm with leg. Don't think too much about it. Just alternate and sway your arms. Sway them forward, alternating, and maybe pull your elbows back so you get even a little bit more of a movement in the sides of your body. You can feel your sides of your ribs moving. All right, come to stillness. Take a breath in and a breath out, and let's lift now the left knee in towards us, pressing palms in towards shin, and your elbows can be out to the side or relax them down. We don't want to stress out the shoulder. Begin to circle the leg. So you can really bring your awareness to this upper thigh bone, your femur bone, and maybe you can even bring your awareness deep inside that socket as it's like, can you picture it in there? Right? We don't know exactly what it looks like inside that hip, our pelvic bowl, and then circle it maybe the opposite direction. Yep, just loosening up. We got to juice up the joints because this is really dry season, right? It's dry. We got to lubricate our joints and then place the foot back down, and let's do some arm movements. So point up towards one corner of the room and down towards the back corner of the room, and then flap your hands. Yep. And then open it up the other way. So other corner of the room, reach up, reach down and back through the lower arm. Beautiful. Feel your shoulders opening and the front of your body opening. And then give it a clap. And let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this with some rhythm. Open it up and clap. And inhale and exhale. And inhale and feel your palms come together. And one more. Open it up. Feel the shoulder blades on your back and clap. Beautiful. Now interlace your pinky, ring, and middle finger. Pointer fingers are outwards and thumbs are crossed. Doesn't matter which thumb is on top. And someone called this the James Bond mudra the other day. I thought that was funny. And I've heard it called the Charlie's Angels mudra. We're making circles now with our body. It's like you're drawing a circle with your pointer fingers. And so you're pointing up towards the side, down, and around. So find your range of motion. It should never hurt. Let's go the other direction. So as you lift up, your spine grows tall, your gaze may look upwards. As you go down, you feel the weight in your feet and perhaps your hips. And one more. Feel the stretch that you're getting from this. It's larger movement. It's wide, it's big, it's wide, it's circular. Open up the palms, reach right and left. Beautiful. Swing your arms forward and up, Swing your arms out to the side. Inhale, exhale. Forward and up, down and out. Inhale and exhale. Awesome. Let's stretch our legs forward. You can hold on to the side of the chair and circle your ankles and your feet. So circling inward, and then after a few of those, circle outward. So toes are circling around and out, and then they circle in and out. So just reversing your circle, in other words. And then flex your feet and push down through your heels. Feel your hips on the chair and your heels down on the earth. Spine growing tall. You can hold on to the side of the chair, or you might take your hands behind your head. It's a little bit of a balance. We just started our first balance. But if you don't feel safe, please put your hands down. And then let's do a little bit of tilting towards the right, just a little bit. Come back up, tilt towards the left, just a little bit. Come back to center and release the arms wide. Turn the palms upwards and then down as we circle our arms upwards. Now they are only going to go to your range of motion. You might be bending your elbows as you turn the palms and the arms up and then turn them down and turn them up and turn them down and then coming back down. Bring your heels back underneath you. We're going to start with just a little stretch of the legs. And if you have another chair and you want to put it in front of you so you can put your foot on the chair, please do, because that can be helpful. So strap around foot, heel is down like it was before, other knee is bent, and the foot is underneath the heel and the knee, and the heel and the knee, the ankle and the knee. And so then shoulders up and back, and you might turn the leg out and feel your hamstring. Both ways. Now, if you're not feeling the stretch, you can go ahead and lift the leg and place it on that chair in front of you or not. And keep tall. Take a breath in and a breath out. As you breathe out, pull your bellies in and up. Pull your bellies in and up. Relax the elbows by your side. Shoulders open. Breathe in and breathe out. And breath is in and breath is out. Now, take the strap into your right hand and open up the leg a little bit out to the side. It doesn't have to go far till you feel a stretch in the inner thigh. In fact, you might take the leg down like so. And notice what you feel there. If you're not feeling it, and if you'd like to lift the leg, use your left hand, hold on to the side of the chair, and perhaps lift the leg. But this is fine too. This is fine too. And maybe we take the opposite arm out to the side. Breathe in, breathe out, lift the leg, bring it back up, and maybe the opposite arm rises. So it's a version of spinal balance. Breath is in and breath is out. So soft breath. You don't want to feel any stress in the leg. We're hoping for a stretch underneath. Now, cross the ankle over the thigh. If your hip is super tight, you may have your foot down like this. So the side of the foot is down, or maybe you have your foot on a few blocks and elevate it. If down on the earth seems like it's too, you're not feeling anything, you can keep elevating the leg until it gets to the point where your ankle's on top of your thigh. Then we can take our hands to our hips, grow tall, lean forward. Lean forward because you can. And then stop when you feel sensation. So you could feel sensation right here. And if that's where you're at, that's where you're at, because we're just going for sensation either in the inner thigh or outer hip. We lean forward and stop when you feel sensation. You can press the hip back. So the hips are moving back as your spine moves forward. Shoulders are on the back. Roll those shoulders back. Feel them move in towards your spine and breathe right here. Take about 3 to 5 breaths. And if you want to stay longer, stay longer. Feel both hips even on the chair. You're lengthening from your out through your spine, and the top of your head is moving forward. We don't want to drop the head down because that's going to round the shoulders. And then we're going to inhale and lift up, lift tall. Now take your right hand to your shin, your ankle, or your heel. Either one. Grow tall, we're going to do our first twist. So you can, if your hand's at the heel, you can push your hand into the heel. If it's down here like this, you can just keep your hand down there towards the lower leg, and we're going to open this up. So inhale, tall, we grow tall. Exhale, pull belly in. Then inhale, start to twist and keep your core engaged on that exhale as you twist towards your left. Breathe in and breathe out. So it might look like that, and it might look like this. And you might have your hand on your heel, and then you can push your hand into your heel and your heel into your hand. And this is our first twist of the day. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's inhale, come to center, and we'll switch sides. So now we are going to do the hamstring. Stretch on the left side, placing the strap around your foot, lasso it, and then place the heel down. Now another option is that you can put your heel on blocks or the chair in front of you. That might increase the sensation, but if you're already getting a stretch with your heel down the earth, there's no reason to have to lift it up higher. We keep going higher if we're not feeling the stretch. Another way to feel more is to lean forward, keeping the spine long. That could also increase the intensity of the stretch. So once you find it, you can, if it's too much, back off. If it's not enough, you can go a little bit more, and then breathe. Breathe and feel the sensation of the stretch in this leg, and use the cues from your body to know what to do next. Whether to stay right where you're at, whether to move a little bit more into the pose or back off. And then you might have the leg lifted. It's all going to depend on you. Let's take the leg out to the side and allow the heel to lower down. And now you might feel a little opening in the inner thigh. You can adjust your hips on the chair so the edge is not cutting into the back of your thigh. We're tall. You might take the opposite arm out to the side. We might lift the leg. You can have a little fun with it. Feel the stretch. And then you can hold on to the chair as you bring the leg back forward. Maybe the opposite arm lifts for spinal balance. Now make sure this shoulder, because it's holding the heavy leg up, right? If it's holding it up, or even if it's pulling the tie, make sure that shoulder stays back. Breathe in and breathe out. Breath is in and breath is out. Moving towards our hip stretch. So again, you could have the leg down without the block, and it's kind of like you're karate chopping. The outside of the foot, the pinky side of the foot is down on the earth, or you could put it on the blocks to get a little bit more of an opening, or Heel is on, or ankle's on thigh. I do like to jiggle around a little bit. You can release the tie. Jiggle around so that you feel your hips pretty level. And then again, we move in towards the pose with our spine moving forward if we need a little more sensation. And the hips are moving back. This is a great time to feel the shoulder blades on the back, to feel the belly engaging. A lot of times the belly's just hanging out down there, so pull it in and up. Yep, mine does that too. It's pretty universal, right? So we pull our belly in, and as we pull our belly in, we pull the ribs back, and we move a little bit more into this hip opener. Breathe in and breathe out, and breathe in and breathe out. And then to come up, push down through the bottom leg, rise up. We'll move towards our twist. So if your leg's down here, your left hand will go on your shin or your thigh. If your leg's up here, then you can place your hand on the shin or thigh, or maybe the heel. We lift tall before we twist. We engage our belly before we twist. Then we twist. The back hand can be on the back of the chair or at a diag, turning neck and head last. I love pushing the heel into the hand. That gives you a little bit of an isometric. Breathe. Feel the sensation of opening your hip up. And then move to center and release. And notice how that feels. I'm going to move this out of the way for now. And let's do first butterfly pose. So in butterfly, your heels are pushing in towards each other and your knees are out. We'll work on butterfly when we get down to the earth, because that's a nice hip opener too. But feel this first. Heels are pushing in and toes are down. So it's good for our feet too. And then we're going to open it up. So start to step your feet wider until your heels are underneath your knees and your toes are extending straight out from your kneecaps. So I always say this because that's what we want to do, is kneecaps going to go down the leg. We're drawing a line down, down, down the leg towards the middle toes. That's how we know we're in alignment. And then feeling both hips even on the chair. You might feel a little opening through the inner thigh. And let's open our arms wide. Spread your fingers. Cross your arms. Yep. And then open it up. And cross your arms. And open it up. Beautiful. And one more time, cross it. And then give yourself a hug. Big hug. Round your spine, chin towards chest, gaze at navel. Maybe you feel your shoulder blades back there with your fingertips. And then open up, open it up. Let's cross again. Cross right over left. Open. So as you open, you can even take your arm slightly back behind you and feel the shoulder blades come on the back. Yes, it's exciting. It feels really good. And then cross other arm on top and open it back up. And maybe thumbs up like hitchhiker and curl your fingers in. Roll the shoulders up and back. Breath this in and breath this out. Come back to that hug, opposite arm on top. So left arm on top, big hug. Big hug. Breathe in and breathe out. Take your hands to your thighs, going towards leaning goddess. So you're pushing your heels down. Your hips are moving back. Your belly's pulling in on that exhale as you lean forward, shoulder blades on the back. Spine is lengthening, lengthening. So crown is moving forward. Feel the weight in your feet. If it feels available to you, with your core engaged, you might extend your arms out to the side. Yes, you got it. So we're gazing down, lengthening through our neck. So you might gaze down and forward to help lengthen the neck. Feel how the weight is coming to it's coming to your thighs, right? It's coming to your legs. Push down, rise up, let your hands lower to your lap. Ooh, isn't that fun? Let's bring one foot in and then the other. And one out, and then the other. You got it. Now take a block and place it in between your thighs, your legs, in center, and then bring your right hand down to the block. Now, if that's too far, keep your right forearm on your thigh. Either way, we're going to find a twist. So this is what it looks like this. We're going to roll the left shoulder up and back and gaze over the left shoulder. Now, these knees are staying in alignment over middle toes. If your hand is down on the block, it looks like this. We're still rolling the shoulder up and back. We're making sure that the weight in this shoulder is safe. So we externally rotate the hand, and then maybe you lift the upper arm towards the sky. Breathe in and breathe out. And breathing in and breathing out. Push down through your feet. Rise up. Awesome. Yes. Other side. So left forearm on thigh and find your twist. Gazing over now the right shoulder or left hand to block. Bring that shoulder back. We still want to keep that external rotation and maybe lifting the right arm towards the sky, or you can just keep it at your hip. Either way is absolutely wonderful. Breathe in, breathe out. Maybe the arm lifts, maybe it doesn't. You can lean back a little bit. Nice heart opener, and come back to center. Removing the block and bringing your feet towards each other, we will go towards some standing poses, rocking forward and back. Now, knowing you can also sit to do many of these poses. So we're going to find chair pose to get ourselves up. A lot of you like to have a chair in front of you for safety or a block in between your thighs, and that's wonderful. I'll show you the block in the thighs. So rocking ourselves forward and back until we lift off. Arms are forward or maybe at your heart. Sitting bones are back. Thighs are strong, really strong. Weight is back in your heels. Let's push down through our feet to rise on up. Feel your strong legs. I'm going to remove the block and let's find warrior two. So you can do warrior two in the chair or standing. The chair can be in front of you or to the side. So holding on to the chair with a light touch, step your feet wide. Move these out of the way a little bit. Stepping your feet wide. So feel your wide stance and turn your right toes to the right. Keeping our spine tall, keeping our shoulders over our hips, we're going to bend the right knee. Bend the right knee and push the left heel out to the side. That's going to help your balance. The left heel's going out and the toes are going in a little bit. And then you can experiment with how deep you go. What I mean by that is, how much does this right knee bend? Is it there or is it there? Or do you need to take a break? Come up when you need to take a break, but this is strengthening our leg bones, pushing down through our feet, shoulders over hips. Push them down. You can have both hands on the chair or open up one arm or both arms and maybe gaze over the front fingertips. Now we're angling that hip down on the right side. It's angling down and it's active. So as you push down through your heel, you may feel your glute activate. Take about 5 to 10 breaths, but if you need a break, please come out of it. Please come out of it. Don't want you crying in yoga. You can always straighten your leg and then go back in. That's fine as well. Breathe in, breathe out. Breath is in and breath is out, working our thighs. Come on up. Let's bring our feet together and give it a little break. Woo! You know, they were opened up for a little bit. We can do some heel lifts on the way to the other side. So holding on to the chair, I'm just turning to the side so you can see. Be close enough to the chair where you're not going to have to lean forward. And inhale, lift your hips up. Your hips up. Your hips and your heels. Toes are down. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Feel your weight when you lower down. Where does it go? Does it go all the way back? Or is it centered in your feet? Let's inhale and lift up. You can play with your balance. Find a spot to stare at. We've got a nice, soft, circular, smooth breath. Maybe you release your hands, maybe you don't. I like to put my fingertips towards each other. Keep hugging your inner ankles in so your heels are lifted. And then exhale, come on down, and we'll do the other side, warrior two. So we start by long stance. If you go too short, it's hard to bend that front knee. So it is really nice to take a longer stance. Of course, you want to feel safe. You don't want to feel like you're going to fall over. Ask your leg bones to wake up legs. Then turn the left toes out. Bend the left knee over the heel and ankle. And push the right heel away from you. The toes will come in a little bit pigeon-toed. Make your adjustments. Knee can be up here, and you might still be feeling this strengthening, or you can bring it more forward so that it's over the ankle and the heel. We don't want it to go too forward like that, so where the knee is going over to the over towards the toes. And then activate your left glute. You can wake it up, say, hi, left glute. Or you can push down through the heel and it isometrically. So isometric means you're not moving the heel, you're pushing it down and pulling it towards the other heel, and it's waking up. And then breathe in and breathe out and activate that core. And then maybe open up one arm and then the other arm. Gaze over the front fingertips. Feel your strong legs. You are so strong. You can always, always, always take a little break and then go back in. Your arms can be floating and light like feathers, like wings on a bird. I don't want to say a turkey. You're gazing over your front arm. Breathe in. Breathe out. Relax shoulders. And then we'll come on out of it. Turn all 10 toes forward and bring your feet back in. And take some steps. Take some steps and release any holding. So you can hold on to the chair or you can swing your arms, lift your knees, you're marching. Just feel the movement. How is this yoga? Well, it's mindful movement. Feel the sensation of marching. Feel the sensation of the leg lifting, the leg placing, and the foot touching down onto your mat or the earth. Yep, one more, and let that go. Let's play with the strap and hold the strap taut. I'm going to fold it in half. We'll do our standing side bend. So for the standing side bend, you can have the chair in front of you. You could have one hand on the chair. You don't have to use the strap. If your hand's on the chair, you'll take one arm up and then you'll do your side bend. If not, take both hands to the strap, lift it tall. Yep, lift it tall and pull that strap taut. Pull it taut, and then we will side bend towards our right. And as you take your side bend, pull up on the upper arm and down on the lower arm. At the same time, try to keep some softness behind the knee. Ooh, this feels good. It's such a nice side bend along the left side of the body. Let's push down and rise up. Lower your arms, take a little break. Maybe circle the shoulders. Give it a little massage. Rolling the shoulders up, back, down, and around. And maybe reverse it up, forward, down, and back, and around. And now we'll do the other side. Lift the strap. Take your side bend now towards your left. Anchor your feet down evenly and enjoy this side bend. Ooh, it feels so good to stretch the right side of the body as we pull that thigh taut. Pull it, lengthen it, straighten it. Oh, yes, this feels so good. Belly pulling in and up. Yummy. It's such a good side bend, isn't it? And then come on up and release and let that go. Let it go, right? And then bring your feet in towards each other. And we will slowly lower down onto the mat. Now, I'd like to do a little bit of lunging, which you can do standing if you don't want to go down to the mat. As we go down, you might take a blanket with you and your strap in black. And so we're going to go down and use the chair. So we're not going to push it away quite yet. So if you're standing, let me show you what that looks like. It'll be a lunge and you're holding on to the chair like here, and you might want to sway your hips. What we're going to do is we're going to do some circles with that front hip to loosen it up. And I'm going to show it now on the ground. Now, placing the blanket so your knee has something so a soft cushion. And then make sure that you're safe. You step on the blanket and don't trip on it. Hands on chair. Slowly lower one and then the other. So now we're down. We're facing the chair. And we're going to step the right foot forward. Right foot is forward. Hands are on the chair. And make sure your knee is cushioned. Then you might have to adjust yourself and get a little further away from the chair. We're going to circle the hip around like we're stirring a pot. So we're circling the hip around and about. And so this is a nice way to open up one hip at a time. You can also let the hips sway side to side a little bit. The circles are really nice. You also could come down onto your forearms instead of holding on to the chair. That might take it a little bit deeper. Now, if you are feeling really good here and you want to go a little bit further, you would take the chair away, move the chair away, and then you can either put your hands down on the earth or maybe use blocks. I'll show you what that looks like. So it would be blocks here and then circling around, or fingertips, This is such a nice hip opener. It's gentle. It's gentle, and it's also strengthening when we're doing our lunges. And then we'll do the other side. So bring that knee back, bring the right knee back, and then we'll switch. So use the chair or the blocks. Step the left foot up and begin to circle around. Make circles with your hips. Nothing should hurt here. I mean, you might feel some opening. You might feel some opening in the tightness. We don't want you to be in pain at all. That is certainly not the game in yoga. And then we might come down onto our forearms as we circle. So hips forward, to the side, back and around as you breathe in and as you breathe out. You also can come down using your blocks or your fingertips. And just kind of view it like it's an exploration of your hip. Exploration of your hip. And then we'll come down onto both knees. And we'll do some cat cows here. So now we're on our hands and our knees. You can move the chair out of the way. You can use blocks for underneath your hands, or you can have your hands on the mat, or maybe you have a little roll under your wrists. Happy to talk about that after, but let's find cat pose, chin to chest, tailbone down. And then inhale, melt your heart, shoulder blades together. And then exhale, we round. Feel that nice stretch in your spine and reverse it. Reverse it. One more. And really feel the shoulder blades come together in your cow pose. And now we're going to do some more hip openers. Let's start with butterfly pose. So for butterfly pose, you can either do it lying down or seated. So if your spine is really tight and your hamstrings are tight, you're going to want to do it lying down. I'm going to show it seated, but you can go down on your back and bring your feet together, knees apart for butterfly pose as well. So if you're sitting, you're most likely going to want to sit on a blanket or two. Yes, you heard me, a blanket or two. We're going to put our hips on the blanket, and then I'm going to bring some blocks over here to show you how you can help your knees in butterfly pose. And then your feet come together like this. And you want to make sure that your hips either the same height or higher than your knees. You could also sit on a block or a pillow. You want to elevate your hips. And then for your knees, you may stick blocks under like that, or pillows or blankets, just something to support them as your feet are together. And you might massage your feet a little bit if your fingers are touching. That's a nice thing to do. Now, you can stay upright with your hands on your shins, or your fingertips back behind you, roll the shoulders up and back. Or you keep those shoulders back as you lean forward. Hips are back. You're leaning forward in our butterfly pose. This can be done lying down. You go down on your back and you bring your feet together, knees out to the side. You still might want blocks or blankets under your knees. Breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. So this is a nice place to be. It's definitely a nice hip opener. It also opens up the inner thighs, maybe the inner groins a little bit. Seated poses can be more challenging than on the back. So if you're feeling any back pain, please go on to your back. Great place to just be and feel and breathe. Really nice. And notice how your body changes as you stay in it a little bit longer. Our body needs this type of movement where we're moving in different ways than we normally do. And then we're going to walk our fingers towards us and shake the legs out. Shake them out. Another nice hip opener here is we're going to bend our right knee and then place the foot on the outside of the other leg, or it could be on the inside. Either way, if this is more accessible, then keep the foot on the inside or the outside, and then grow tall. And you might feel a little bit of hip opener here. You can also allow the knee to come down like that. So the knee is coming down towards the bottom knee. And then we can lean forward a little bit. Ooh, and you will feel this in the long leg, the bottom leg. And so you're only going to go so far. Try not to round your spine. Keep it long. You do not need to round over your leg. Breathing in and breathing out. And breathing in and breathing out. And feel the sensation, because there's a lot of sensation going on. And then we'll come on out of it. Shake the legs out, shake them out, let them go, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. And we'll do the other side. So now the left foot's going to come on side the right thigh or cross it over. So you might feel a nice opening right here. If you don't, that's when you bring the leg down. But if you're here and you're feeling it, this is a great place to be. If not, you can lower the knee down. If you're feeling something here, stay here. If not, move forward a little bit until you do. So you might feel this in the hip and you might feel it behind the knee on the bottom leg, or behind the leg, I should say. Behind the leg is where you'll feel it. Try not to lock the knee. And it's always about breathing and feeling. It's always, the body will communicate with you if we're quiet and still and we're feeling and trying not to run. If it's so uncomfortable that you want to run, you got to get out of it. Get out of it. Get out of the pose. It's not the right one for you. And then we'll come on up and we will go down onto our backs. Let's go onto our backs. Take the strap and the blocks with ya. And we will come on down and do bridge pose. So a nice bridge pose. Now, if you're, as long as it's comfortable for you, keep your head flat without the blanket. But if your head is tilting back, then you do need a little something over your head and under your head. But we don't want that, right? We don't want the forehead tilting back. Rather, we want the forehead and the chin parallel with the earth. So no tipping back like that. If it is, you probably need a little something under the top third of your head, like a little blanket, and then you would put it there. I'm going to keep this away. And then when we go up into our bridge, we want to make sure that there's space underneath the neck. So take your hands under your neck, give it a little massage, and feel the space between the mat and the back of your neck. And that stays there when we go into our bridge. So our feet are about hip distance apart and toes are forward. We're going to push down through our feet and rise up, walk our shoulders underneath us. So this is a great place to be. Another place you can be, if you'd like to relax, is to place a block underneath you like this and relax here. And it's a nice back bend to open up your heart. Really nice place to be. So either more active without the block or having the block underneath. When we're walking our shoulders underneath us. Feel that nice opening through the front of the body. So arms can be down by your side. You can interlace your fingers. You can have your arms in robot, maybe elbows out to the side a little bit. That's great too. Breathe in and breathe out, and let's lower down. Lower it down and feel the body. Back bends are so important because we forward fold so much during the day. Let's lift up again. Push down through the feet and lift the heart upwards. Feel your bridge pose. And then lower and down. Let's bring the right knee in towards us. Give it a hug, and we're going to go into half happy baby. So pulling the knee towards us and towards our right shoulder. So right knee towards right shoulder with a little bit of pulsation action. A little bit of a pulsing. Pulling the knee in towards your right shoulder. It's not like it's going to touch it, but we're just pulling it in. And then how about we circle our ankle here, one way and then the other. Ooh, little crack and pop. Then keeping this knee here, perhaps extend the bottom leg. So perhaps extend the bottom leg. If it's too much, then bring it back in, bend that knee. So either way, and then you can kind of sway with your leg bone as you open up that hip joint. You might just kind of open and side to side, a little sweeping. So we're just easing in. We're saying hip, just ease in to open. And then we might bring the bottom leg in for our number 4 pose on the earth. Feel your hips level. You can gently press the thigh away or pull the knee in towards you to give it a hug in. So it again depends on your hip. So foot can be down, left foot's down, or it's lifted. And we're gently pressing the right thigh away from us and right foot is flexed. This is a wonderful place to open up the hip. Really feel that opening. Take several nice long breaths. Maybe you massage your hip and say, nice hip, you've been so good. Or you give it little love taps. Little love taps. I love you, right hip. And then let's switch sides. So now we're going to put the left ankle over the right thigh. And perhaps this is where you're feeling a stretch. If it's not, Then pull the knee in towards you. I know we got to do that half happy baby. I'll come back to that in a moment on the left side. So we're pulling the knees now towards us if we didn't feel anything here. It's always an if, because you don't want to force body parts. Never force body parts. And now you're saying hello to the left hip. It may be a little bit more intense because you've been warming up your hips for the whole hour. So this is like the finale for the hips. You can do a little pulsation or hold it still, gently pressing legs towards you. Breathe in and breathe out. And then when you're ready, you'll drop that right leg and now angle the left knee towards your left shoulder, and you can pulse it in towards the shoulder, or you can hold it towards the shoulder using one hand or both, and maybe extending the bottom leg, maybe letting the leg sway. So there's all these options. And our body is always giving us messages about what it thinks is the best option. One more little hug, maybe a little taps, little love taps on that left hip and back of the leg. It helps all that fascia loosen up. And now you can take one last stretch of your legs if you so desire, pushing the heel upwards. Nice neutral pelvis. And feeling the sensation behind the leg. And this is also, you could stay in this pose as long as you want because it's your home practice. I would stay at least 30 seconds. Really get the benefit of stretching behind the leg, pushing the heel up, but feeling the femur bone kind of drop in towards the hip socket. When you're ready, switch sides. And notice, we've been practicing for almost an hour. How does your body feel? How do your hips feel? How does your hamstrings feel? Finding your final resting pose. Now, some of you might want to rest in butterfly pose, and that would be fine. You could be resting on the earth with your knees apart and your feet together and blocks under your knees. That's a possibility. You want it to relax, or you could have your legs straight down or pillows underneath your knees. Or you could have feet apart and knees together. That's a nice resting pose, constructive rest pose. And the palms will face up and allow your body to release and let go. Try not to hold on to anything. Just be in this relaxation position. So if you feel any tension, you can send it a exhale that way. Let's say you feel tension in your big toe. So you say, big toe, I love you, and send an exhale to your big toe. Yes, it releases any tension. And you go through like that, like your body, perhaps your left hip. And so as you breathe in, you're bringing in fresh air. And as you breathe out, the left hip is relaxing. Jaws relaxing. Eyes are relaxing. All is relaxing. And stay like this for as long as you wish on this Friday in November, pre-Thanksgiving. I'll close our class together as we bring our knees in and roll to the side, but you can stay in your resting pose as long as you wish. So to come out, start by rolling to your side and take your time to come up. And then we use our hands to bring us to upright. And finding a nice seated position to bring our hands in front of our heart with gratitude for all the support that brought us here this Friday late morning. Take a breath in of gratitude and a breath out. Send gratitude to others. You might keep a little gratitude journal by your bedside or in your pocket or in your belonging, your purse. Definitely take note of gratitude and blessings throughout your day. It's a blessing to be with you. Namaste, everyone. Take care. Feel good. I hope you have happy hips.
Great job, everyone.
Thank you. Everyone have a
Thank
fantastic
you.
Friday.